Securities offered through Cambridge Investment Research Incorporated, a broker-dealer, member FINRA, SIPC. Advisory services through Cambridge Investment Research Advisors Incorporated, a registered investment advisor. Cambridge and Clear Vista Financial are not affiliated. Discussions in this show should not be construed as specific recommendations or investment advice. Always consult with your investment professional before making important investment decisions.
Okay, so our next question, one individual specifically that asked this is Rick, and he's in the Waco area. But several people have been calling our office and saying, are I bonds a good investment? So we've actually prepared some information to tell you guys and girls about because it's a really hot topic right now.
Yeah, and a lot of people are attracted by the interest rate on I bonds. Now, I bonds, there's kind of a newer version of it. Remember, we used to, you probably don't remember, Jesse, but my grandparents bought me old double E savings bonds.
Mm-hmm. My wife actually collected one decades old the other month. She just found it.
All right. So they used to issue these paper bonds, and now if you want to buy government bonds like the I bonds, you have to buy them through treasurydirect.gov. That's the only place you can buy them. You can't go to a bank anymore to buy those treasury bonds.
Mm-hmm.
And you're limited per person to $10,000 per calendar year. That's all you can put into them.
Right.
And there's some restrictions on the redemptions within the first 5 years or so, but they're intended to be long-term investments.
They're also non-tradable, so you can't just sell it to somebody.
That's right. So the interest rates, which are pretty high right now, at 9.62%, and this will change at the end of September, or actually end of October for November. The interest rates are determined by a combination of two different rates.
Mm-hmm.
One's a fixed rate, which currently that fixed rate is 0. And you're thinking, well, that's not that great. The other part is the inflation rate. Now, the fixed rate of the I bond never changes as long as you own it. So if it comes in at 0, it will always be 0 as long as you own that bond. Now, the inflation rate changes twice a year.
Mm-hmm.
And the two combined, you add the fixed rate to the inflation rate, that gives you the rate. Now, right now, the current inflation rate is about 9.62%. So that's really good return in an environment where, savings rates at our credit unions or banks are not that great, haven't been for some time. And the I bond seems to be somewhat attractive.
Mm-hmm.
However, the inflation rate can change twice a year. So if we think inflation is going to eventually fall, that inflation rate will go down, and thus the interest rate that you're earning every year will go down as well. It's not like a CD. A lot of people hear the 9.62% and thinking, oh, wow, 9.62% for 20-something years.
That's 9 great. Times what I got on my CD.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, more than that, man. So it sounds really attractive, and it's a good rate, but there are limitations. For example, you cannot redeem them in the first 12 months, okay? Then if you redeem them sometime after the first 12 months, but before the 5 years passes, you're going to give up a quarter's worth of interest.
Mm-hmm. So there can be a lot of money.
Yeah, there are redemption penalties if you do that before 5 years. And the inflation rate can go down, and it probably will. So one thing that people don't realize is that inflation rate can actually be negative.
Yeah.
So if your current fixed rate is 0 and the inflation rate goes negative, you're actually losing money on those. Now, right now, the inflation rate is 9.62%. That will update this fall. So I think that, these can be attractive things for some investors that have a little cash sitting around. Remember, the max is $10,000 per calendar year. There are restrictions on redemption, so it's got to be money that you don't need to touch for a while. And you have to realize that the inflation rate will vary over the life of the I bond. One other thing, Jesse, is that you can't purchase them with any type of IRA.
Okay.
So your money has to be, it has to be taxable. It can't be a qualified retirement account. Okay.
I'd also
So that-
read something. I read something online that you can actually tell the IRS to withhold part of your tax return and buy I-bonds with it.
Yeah, I have seen that too. Yeah,
And
but
so
you can find that information at treasurydirect.gov. We've gotten so many questions about it. We thought it was important for us to mention that on the air today.
Yes.
That that can be something that might be suitable for you, but just gotta know you got to hang on to them for a while. I think the minimum amount that you can purchase is $25. The max amount is $10,000, and that's per individual or per Social Security number. So, anyway, good question from Rick. Thanks for asking that because we needed to talk about it.